Hey guys, this is Miss Lover, and it is because I have my Mickey Mouse ring on, so you know it's me. But today I'm going to do a read aloud of the first chapter of this book, and then as well as going over what a sneak peek is. And a sneak peek is when we want to find out a little bit more about the book, but before we actually read it. So the first thing that you can do when you take a sneak peek is look at the title. So here's the title of my story today. It's called Frog and Toad Are Friends. The next thing we can look at to help us figure out the book is going to be about is on the back. It's normally in the back. Sometimes it's found on the back cover or the front cover right here on this side. But on this instance, it's found on the back. And this part right here is called a blurb. So let's see what our blurb is for today. From writing letters to going swimming, telling stories to finding lost buttons, Frog and Toad are always there for each other, just as best friends should be. So I'm going to think about that. That's talking about being friends, and the title is about being friends. So I think this book might be about Toad and Frog being friends. Now, the next thing we can look at sometimes is the table of contents. So we have our stories here. Spring, story, a lost button, a swim in the letter. So we can think about those things as we are trying to make our sneak peek about our book. And then the last thing we can look at is the pictures. So I'm going to look through just the first part of the story, which is called Spring, and I will take a look at the pictures. Not the words yet, but just the pictures. So here's the first one. Looks like he's knocking on the door. He comes inside. And Toad's sleeping, it looks like. They're outside. It looks like he's still in his pajamas. He's got a calendar. It says November, but over here it says April. He pulled down lots of different months right here. All right, and that's the last part of that story. So today, that was just a quick little preview on how to take a sneak peek of the story. Again, we looked at the title. We looked at the blurb, which in my case was on the back of the book. We took a look at the table of contents, and we flipped through some of the pictures as well. So that gives us an idea of what the story might be about. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read the first chapter of this book, which is called Spring. And based off the pictures, I'm gonna give you a second. Make a prediction. What do you think the story is going to be about based on our sneak peek? It's called Spring, and we had one person who kept staying in bed, and another person pulling pages off a calendar. What do you think the story is going to be about? I think the story is going to be about Toad trying to hibernate, and Frog trying to wake him up when hibernating time is over. That's what I think. All right, let's see. Spring. Frog ran up the path to Toad's house. He knocked on the front door. There was no answer. Toad! Toad! Shouted Frog. Wake up! It is spring! Bleh! Said a voice from inside the house. Toad! Toad! Cried Frog. The sun is shining! The snow is melting! Wake up! I'm not in here, said the voice. Frog walked into the house. It was dark. All the shutters were closed. Toad, where are you? Called Frog. Go away, said the voice from the corner of the room. Toad was lying in bed. He had pulled all the covers over his head. Frog pushed Toad out of bed. He pushed him out of the house and onto the front porch. Toad blinked in the bright sun. Help, said Toad. I cannot see anything. Don't be silly, said Frog. What you see is the clear, warm light of April, and it means that we can begin a whole new year together, Toad. Think of it, said Frog. We will skip through the meadows and run through the woods and swim in the river. In the evenings, we will sit right here on this front porch and count the stars. You can count them, Frog, said Toad. I will be too tired. I am going back to bed. He does look sleepy still. Toad went back into the house. He got into bed and pulled the covers over his head again. "But Toad," cried Frog, "you will miss all the fun." "Listen, Frog," said Toad, "how long have I been asleep?" "You have been asleep since November," said Frog. "Well then," said Toad, "a little more sleep will not hurt me. Come back again and wake me up at about 1/2 May. Good night, Frog." "But Toad," said Frog, "I will be lonely until then." Toad did not answer. He had fallen asleep. Frog looked at Toad's calendar. The November page was still on top. Frog tore off the November page. He tore off the December page and the January page, the February page, and the March page. He came to the April page, and Frog tore off the April page too. Then Frog ran back to Toad's bed. "Toad, Toad, wake up! It is May now." "What?" said Toad. "Can it be May so soon?" "Yes," said Frog. "Look at your calendar." Toad looked at the calendar. The May page was on top. "Why is it May?" said Toad as he climbed out of bed. Then he and Frog ran outside to see how the world was looking in the spring. And that's the last page of that chapter. All right, guys, so today what I want you to do for your reading activity is to find a book and to take a sneak peek. Remember, to take a sneak peek, you have to look at the title. You can look at the table of contents if you have that. Look through the pictures of the book, and then also the blurb. Not every single book is going to have a blurb or table of contents, but that's all right. And when you take your sneak peek, that gives you a better idea of what the story is going to be about. And you'll be able to make a prediction about the story as well. So while you're reading today, take a sneak peek and make a prediction. And share both those things with someone in your family, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Bye.